Hey, it's EG. Welcome to the audio version of the Be Yourself Marketing newsletter. And if you haven't checked out the podcast yet, there are real conversations with entrepreneurs just like you, and they're building on their own terms because your best marketing strategy is the one you were born with. Find it wherever you listen. Now, let's get into the newsletter. 3 reasons why stupider people have done it, but you haven't. And everyone was dumped in you by someone else. I just finished reading an advanced copy of Stupider People Have Done It by Jay Schwedelson. And halfway through the book, I actually started laughing out loud because apparently I've been accidentally living the title for the past 6 months. Here's what's been going on. I'm developing raw land in Alberta. Look, I don't even have the option to connect to utilities. So it's 100% off grid, like it or not. No formal experience or training in developing raw land, but I did grow up on job sites because my dad and other family members built all of our houses, kind of like an old-fashioned Amish barn raising. So I spent my childhood watching things get built. I know enough to recognize when something's done right in building and fixing houses, which makes what's been happening here even harder to sit with. So my driveway is fully paid for, but half done. And the contractor who guaranteed the work now wants more money to fix the thing he already screwed up. The pole barn that was supposed to take 2 weeks, that was 6 months ago, and I still can't use it. The water management company spent over 3 hours on my property, staked out options for a dugout, and walked me through all the flooding issues, even gave me a verbal 5-figure estimate, but never sent the actual quote. And I found out yesterday what it would actually cost to just buy the equipment and do it myself. Believe it or not, it was less than what they verbally quoted me. Then here I am, writing this from my trailer with the sketchy electrical, cold floors, and heat that seems to quit whenever Alberta decides to remind me it's Alberta. And after talking to, I'd say, over a dozen people about building a cabin and office space, here I am, still in the trailer, still no solid plan on where I'm spending next winter. And honestly, this past winter, some nights I've genuinely sat here shivering and thinking, who the heck do I think I am to try to pull this off? And now, thank you, Jay, his book is literally smacking me in the face because stupider people than me have done this. So, I know, yes, I've got the receipts, lots of them. And now I'm sitting here doing the math on the equipment costs. And here's what the book, I think, is actually about. Jay's grandpa said those 6 words to him when he was sitting with his head in his hands, convinced he wasn't smart enough, didn't have the right background, couldn't do the thing in front of him, and that one sentence stopped his spiral. 'Cause it's 100% true. Somewhere out there, someone less qualified than you is already doing the exact thing you're convinced you can't. Not smarter, not more prepared, not more ready, just doing it. Thank you, Nike. So it got me thinking about all the reasons we freeze, pun intended, when it's our turn to build something. And specifically, where's that voice that stops us actually coming from? Because here's what most of us miss. We're not born thinking this way. Nobody comes out of their womb thinking, I should probably play small just in case I fail. The software did not come pre-installed, people. Somebody uploaded it. You heard it from someone. Maybe someone who meant well, like a parent trying to protect you from disappointment. A teacher trying to manage 30 kids who just didn't have room for your kind of ambition. Or maybe it was a friend who's uncomfortable if you're dreaming out loud because it reminds them of their own unlived version. The point is that we heard it so many times that it stopped sounding like their voice and it started sounding like ours. And now there it is, stuck on autopilot in our head. The people who gave you those fears might not even be in your life anymore, but somehow their soundtrack keeps playing in your head over and over and over again. So here are 3 of the things stupider people never told themselves, and you probably can't stop hearing. And because while you're wanting to build a business, every one of those reasons is now running on repeat. Number 1, I don't have the right background. Well, I don't have land development experience. What I have is a lifetime of watching my dad MacGyver things together and standing on job sites as a kid, handing tools to my dad, uncle, cousin, godfather, absorbing how construction actually goes together. That's not no experience. That's decades of exposure most people never get. The contractors who've been taking my money these past 6 months don't have some special background I'm missing. Well, not really as much as I've been giving them credit for anyway. Mostly, they just have equipment, confidence, and the willingness to say, yep, we can do that. Because technically, they are more of an expert than me. Technically. But here's the thing about building a business. Most of the people on the sidelines thinking they don't have the right background are already way more prepared than they realize. Whether it's years of industry knowledge, real relationships, hard-won instincts about what your people actually need. That marketing part to build, that's learnable. The knowing your people part, that took you decades. I mean, my father could hear things in music most people completely miss. But he never took one lesson. He couldn't read sheet music, and he definitely wasn't a sound engineer with just a grade school education. So ask yourself, where did you first hear that your background wasn't enough? Number 2, I need more experience first. Well, think about every job you ever started. Did you walk in there on day 1 knowing everything? Did you have every answer before your first day? Did you never make a mistake, never need someone to explain something, and never have a moment where you thought, okay, I'm figuring this out as I go? Of course not. Nobody does. You had some skills, some relevant experience, then you showed up and you learned the rest by doing. And that's how every job works. That's how every job has always worked. So why do we hold building a business to a completely different standard? Why do we suddenly require a level of certainty we've never demanded of anything else? Nobody wakes up experienced. Experience shows up after enough awkward reps, bad decisions, expensive mistakes, and moments where you think, well, I guess we're doing this now. You don't get good at something by waiting until you're ready to do it well. You get good at it by doing it. Badly at first, then less badly, then well enough that someone pays you for it. Look, I don't care how many YouTube videos or books you read on riding a bike. At some point, you have to stop researching, put your butt in the seat, start pedaling, and wobble your way into a few bushes. The voice that says, not yet, not ready, not enough reps, that's the voice that was installed to keep you safe. It's doing its job, but it's not doing you any favors. Number 3. Maybe I'm just not the kind of person this works out for. That's the one underneath the other 2. The quietest, the most stubbornness, the one that doesn't announce itself. It just silently sneaks in and shows up as avoidance, procrastination, as, well, after all this other stuff settled down, I'll really focus. I know this one all too well. I'm building something in conditions that would make most people quit. Probably not even show up at all. No reliable heat or power, faulty electrical in a 50 square foot tiny trailer, contractors who took the money and didn't finish the work. Still in a trailer, 6 months past when I expect it to be settled. And some nights the voice does get loud. Maybe I'm just not the kind of person life works out for this way. But here's the thing I've learned sitting with that voice long enough in the cold to actually look at it. I wasn't born with it. It's not in my DNA. It came from watching, from listening, from absorbing the energy of people who've already made peace with a smaller version of the things, and they didn't realize they were quietly teaching me to do the same thing. That's not blame, by the way. Most of them were just doing their best. But their ceiling and the crab mentality doesn't have to be mine, and it definitely shouldn't be yours either. The voice that says, people like me don't get to have this, that's the voice that sounds like you now, but it didn't start with you. And you need to give it back to whoever gave it to you. So what do you actually do with this? Well, you don't fight the voice. Fighting just makes it louder. You notice it, name it, and then you ask one question. Whose voice is this really? Again, not to blame anyone, just remember that it's not yours, which means you can update it or delete it. Because somewhere out there, someone with less experience than you, less background than you, less certainty than you, is building the thing that you want to build. They're out there trying, learning, sometimes falling down, but always picking themselves up and going again. Now, I've said it a million times. There's no failure, only feedback. Life doesn't hand out feedback to people waiting safely on the sidelines. The people making progress aren't the ones who feel ready. They're the ones who collect the reps before the confidence shows up. Because somewhere out there, less qualified than you is already building the thing. Do I sound like I'm on repeat? Look, they're not special. They just started. Stupider people than you have done it, which means you already have everything you need, except the reps your fear doesn't want you to get. Now, go get them. And this book, because all proceeds go to charity to kick cancer's butt. Make it a great action-filled week.